Now his question is why did the Quran mention hearing or sama before basar?
That's right.
Now, and before fuad also. In the
That's right.
sama wal basara wal fuad.
You see, the most effective instrument of teaching is sama. Because a blind person can still remember the Holy Quran, can understand the messages, everything. But a person who doesn't hear, he can't understand anything, because sama is something which is a doorway for not only your own personal access to knowledge, but is a personal doorway also to access of the total knowledge of human beings, of also the past stages. Because it's through sama that you can reach that knowledge. Through basar you can read, but how many human beings can read anyway? But those who cannot read, still they cannot be deprived of that knowledge which can come through the ears. So Allah is talking of two sources of knowledge which would completely draw a demarcation line, between animal kingdom and the human advanced species of life. And the main difference which Allah emphasizes, that we gave them two instruments which make them different from the all previous creatures. They can hear, they can see, and they can compute. Fuad. Fuad is a thinking faculty which computes things. And it is through the hearing that you hear the message of Allah delivered to the prophets. It is through hearing that you understand all the intricate things. Without the help of hearing, your eyes are not sufficient. When you read a book, why don't you read a book by yourself? Why do you need a teacher? Why there are needs for so many universities and schools and things? If you can read, that's enough. Just go to the library and be educated. Hearing is essential for those who are experienced to pass their experience on to you, which cannot be passed through eyes alone. So ears have an advantage. As far as the source of learning and instrument of learning is concerned, there is not a shadow of doubt that ears have an advantage. That is one explanation why ears are mentioned first. The second explanation is that in the evolution of life, the first faculty which was granted to animals was hearing, not sight. You see, the animals, to begin with, at the early stages, and they still exist, you can examine them, they learnt through waves underground, and they vibrated something within them, and they realized gradually the message, although the ears were not yet born. Eyes came much later. So the first faculty which was granted to life as such by Allah was the hearing. Hearing of a rudimentary type, of course. Also the sight was of a rudimentary type. Early animals began to react to the light because it was intense and somehow it repelled. Maybe the heat did instead of the light itself. But hearing, we know, appeared first. So that could be another reason to mention both in the order of creation. Because first ears were created, then followed the eyes. So the Quranic statement is perfectly in order. But I prefer the first explanation because it's more significant and deeper deeper in philosophy.
May I beg Hadur to add something? It came in my mind while
Please.
Hadur was talking. Also, hearing, you can hear 24 hours, but light it is only half the day and half 12 hours night
No,
and
but
12 hours.
if when you sleep, how can you hear?
Yeah, I mean the ability to hear is the whole day, day and night. You can hear at night and hear during day, but you cannot see during night, but you can see during day. Or if the sun is not there or there is no moon, you cannot see.
Of course, but I know that is an advantage, of course, but I doubt if that minute scientific difference is what is meant by the Holy Quran, you know.
Yes.
Of course, it could also be the reason. But personally, I believe, after discussing the whole thing,
Yeah.
that the emphasis is on the hearing, because it is the far more important means of achieving knowledge than sight is. You see? Those who can hear, they can learn everything. I have known such people who are blind. They know the Quran, they have learned the Hadith, and they have learned everything through hearing. And they appear in examination and sometimes take gold medals, beating all those who can see.
We have thousands of these people in Egypt,
In Egypt, that's
in
right,
Al-Azhar.
Yes, right. But I haven't seen a dumb man reaching any stage of knowledge. You see? A blind man has an advantage over a dumb and deaf. Now the modern technology has done something, but nothing to compete with those who can hear directly with their ears. So
Yeah.
I think that is the primary reason. Others could be suggested, like I suggested some, and Ilmi Sahib suggested another. There is another reason why this Basar, the Sama is given preference over Basar. Sama can be substitute for the loss of sight, but sight cannot be a substitute for the loss of Sama. It can be proved with reference to the animal kingdom and their behavior. These bats have no sight, or if at all they have such dim and short sight that it does not carry them anywhere. Yet entirely with the aid of their exceptionally sensitive Sama, they can move so fast in the rooms without striking against anything. Not that they see the walls, they reach it at full speed, you know, and when you think they will strike, they turn very quickly, because it is the Sama which strikes against the wall and returns it to them, and it works like a radar. But a blind animal, a deaf animal can't do anything. It is just useless. In the owls, who have sight, but they are animals of night, who seek their prey at night, not during the day. And at night is total darkness, so perfect that you can't see even your own arm when you extend it, in the thick foliage where the owls sit, waiting for their prey, like mice or rats, jumping and moving about in the jungle. They can't see anything. They depend entirely on their survival and on their food, on their very sharp Sama. They hear it in the dead of the night, some rustle somewhere, you know, under the leaf. And the scientists have now exactly measured the accuracy of their hearing. They say they know the direction from which the sound came. They know exactly how many millimeters away that sound is. And they swoop on that sound and clutch the thing without seeing it. And there is the rat or the mouse in their clutches, and they fly away back to their bough where they were sitting. Now, can sight do away with the loss of hearing? No. You don't see any example in the animal kingdom. But here is a very clear-cut example that sama is so important that it can also substitute the sight. There are so many other examples, but these two are sufficient, right?